Let's see how we could work on a list. Again, I'm gonna have a head which links to a style sheet. Points to yes. And we have a body. This time I'm gonna have a list. So we have like two kinds of list. One is unordered list. So this is the syntax we have already seen in the HTML sessions. UL is how you start your unordered list. Within that, you have to mention your list. So I'm going to say apple, banana, mango. Let's see how it looks. So you see these bullet points that obviously you would have seen in any text editors, Word editors, Office, MS Office. So that's what happens with the unordered list. Let's see what happens with the ordered list. With the ordered list, you always see the numbers. Numbers in orders is what you see. So that's why it's called ordered list. Now we'll see how we can apply styles to this. So for the ordered list, I could say list style type. And this list style type has a few items. So upper Roman. Let's see what happens when we get upper Roman. So you get these upper Roman characters, and then let's see what happens if you give lower alpha. So you get the alphabets in lower order. Then you have lower Greek. So you have like so many options here with ordered list. Let's say we have an unordered list. Okay, or we can actually create two ordered lists now, so that we could immediately see those effects. So ordered list, let it have the lower alpha. For the unordered list, let's have circle. Now this is the second one. So we have circle, and then we can have square. We see square. Then let's try not sure if symbols would work. Yeah, I think those two are for unordered list. Okay, so this is how it is. Now here, if you give the value for UL, it is pretty much applied for all the whole list, like the whole element, right? The UL and the LI within. Likewise for the OL. Now, what if we want to give a image list style image as a bullet? So let me get a small thumbnail image. Copy this. Okay. So I go back to the images file, small GIF. So for unordered list, image is pretty huge. So that's why. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So I say list style this time is not a type. So I don't say that it is a bullet or say the square. So I'm saying let it take a small GIF file, but the GIF file is huge. So that's why you see this huge images here. Let's get some small icon GIF. No, small.jpg is a different file. So that's what you see. I mean, those images here. I mean, I know you're confused that this is actually extremely on the left. We get some of the image cut off. There's a reason for that. I'll show you what happens. Okay, so whenever there is a text or a content within the li, the bullet is next to that. Now we have an option saying whether the bullet should be inside or outside. I'll tell you what, the element itself will try to give a border so that we could know the difference. I'm just giving a border. Okay, let's see what happens. I give the border. Okay, so this is what it is. Now, when we say li, it just denotes the item. So OL is what the ordered list or the unordered list is what generates those bullets, not the item itself. So we have an option to say list style position is outside or inside. So that's why I gave this border. So I just gave this border to li. I didn't give the border to ol. So when I gave the border to li, you could see the li pretty much starts from here. This is what we do, right? I mean, even in the margin padding example, that's what we saw. When if you want to know the boundary of an item, the control space of an item, you always have to give a border. So I'm trying to give a border here to understand what is the space of the li. So li starts from here. So this property which says list child position, it says whether the bullets has to be inside the li or outside it. So now I've given it outside, so it's outside, and here I've given it inside, so it's inside. So it is by default outside. Okay, so even if you remove this, it is outside. So that is why you had this problem. Now the the dog icon itself is looking pretty ugly, so I'll try to remove that. Also remove the borders. Now for the unordered list alone, I'll also show where. Okay, let me just comment this out. I want to show you what is the pure form of it. So when nothing is done, this is how it looks. Even for the ordered list, when nothing is done, this is how it looks, right? So if at all you wanna change or remove the effects or any default effects that you has been applied to these unordered list or the ordered list, we could say list style type is none, right? And then okay, let's see what happens when it is none. So it's all gone. Margin is 0, padding is 0. See, just goes to the left. So by default, the ordered list and the unordered list, they always give a margin and a padding. And the list type is always a default type, which is a square or here in the case numbers of ordered list. So there is also a shorthand property that we'll see. I'm going to just give it for the unordered list. The shorthand property is simply list style. So whenever, you can just look at it. When it comes to these properties, they always have a similar name. So list style is the property name. So these are all extra parameters. You could give a square and then say whether it is inside or outside, and then the URL if you need a image. So this is the shorthand property. Let's try to give two different properties to the color. Sorry, to the unordered list and the item itself. So this is the unordered list. This is the item. Now I'm gonna say background color is antique white. Here I'll say, okay, first let's look at it how it looks. So the background color is white. Then for the list, let's give a different background color. Okay. Let's make this one dark. Okay, blue violet. Let this be light blue. Okay. So see, the whole thing is blue violet. The list alone is light blue now. So these are extra styling that you could give inside the list items itself. So the unordered list now has a padding. When you give the padding, this padding is applied only for the overall list, not for each individual LI. So if you want to give padding for each individual LI, this is how you do. So this concept is applicable everywhere. Like this is a parent and this is a child. So even in tables, you have like a table and then the child is TR or a TD. So for the table, you could give a different value. For the TR and DD, you could give a different value. So likewise, you could achieve a lot of designs with pure HTML and CSS. You could do the same for OL2. Okay, this looks symmetrical, right?